Okay, we have It's Just a Game spawning as the green Terran in the northwest corner, and Chompy spawning, as always, as the orange Zerg in the southeast corner. Yes, I say northwest and southeast, just because that's kind of how the bases are related to each other.
Chompy telling it's just a game, he knows where he spawned. Clearly he's hacking.
Clearly.
There's absolutely no way he would know.
It's just a game beginning the beginnings of his wall off. Good old standard play on this map. It is a little bit tougher to wall off against a Zerg player just because the ramp is a little bit wider than you're used to with these maps, but it can still be done with two buildings, two barracks and two supply depots, or a barracks and a factory, and it's always a good decision against a Zerg player. Barracks going down actually a little bit early for It's Just a Game. Usually you see the barracks go down at 12, instead he's throwing it down a little bit early at 11. Might have been a mistake, but maybe he's got something a little bit sneaky planned.
We might be seeing 6 barracks again.
Alright, the good old standard 6 barracks play. Chompy moving out with his drone. Could be a scouting drone, and no, it's going for the expansion, just as he has those 300 minerals. There we go, goes down. It's Just a Game does see the expansion, so he knows what he's up against. And now, as always, it is on the Terran player to put on some early aggression to punish the Zerg player for that expansion. So far, no gas from It's Just a Game. Sorry, It's Just a Game. So once again, lots of Marines for an early expansion. Seems to be a little bit indecisive. He's pulling an SCV off the line, puts it back in, pulls it off. Cool going down from Chompy. So far, standard play from the Zerg player. A bit unstandard from the Terran player, and
Oh, canceling that barracks and make a command center instead.
that's exactly what I wanted to see. That's the other option when dealing with a fast expanding Zerg. You either put the pressure on, or you get your expansion up as fast as possible too. Now, unfortunately, he's actually going to be a little bit supply bogged here. He delayed his supply depot quite a bit to get that expansion down. The best decision he could make here is to throw that orbital command, and there it goes. Chompy with the drone transfer. Nothing too interesting here.
Not making the mistake of sending too many as we saw him do a few games ago.
We're Just a Game now getting a double gas, so probably not going to be seeing bioplay. I think we're going to see him teching very quickly to factory and maybe to starport.
Very glad to see that. I think we've been seeing too many Terrans do too much bioplay tonight. I am looking forward to seeing him tech up like that.
I would like to see some Banshee play on this map. It's a very good map for it.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of that all night. I'm assuming we're just going to see the same old standard solid play from Chompy as he always does. Roach Warren on its way.
And his second gas. I also would really love to see some Banshee play. I mean, when you get some quick Banshees out, especially if the Zerg player hasn't scouted, it really puts the Zerg player on the back foot, and the only way they can really deal with it is if they have been teching and have their Hydras or Mutas out, or if they have enough Queens out. And I think we actually see Chompy kind of skip on his Queens quite a bit. He likes to go kind of one for each base.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Chompy just laying down those first 2 creep tumors. As always, being very good about spreading that creep.
Couple Zerglings coming out from Chompy just to poke ahead and see what he's up against. Always a good decision, especially considering that it can be so tough to scout the opponent as a Zerg player before you get your Overlord speed finished. Oh, and we do see the metabolic boost just now kicking in for the Zerglings, so these are really huffing it now.
Yeah.
He's gonna check. He sees there's no expansion from the Terran player.
Taking out the automaton.
It's a good move.
Looks like he's leaving one Zergling behind to check that expansion. Sends one up the ramp. See what he's up against.
So he does poke up. He saw that there were 2 barracks of factory, and most importantly, he saw that there was a command center. So now he knows there is not going to be any super early hyper aggression from the Terran player.
Yeah. His lair just now finishing, so we'll see what he techs to.
And we do see it's just a game getting siege tanks. No siege tech going up yet, but he is not getting a starport yet, so we may just be seeing bioplay supplemented with siege tanks.
It's just a game is now getting ready to secure his expansion. Chompy does have a Zergling in place, so he's gonna see the command center flowing down. Chompy now has to make the decision either to put some aggression on the Terran opponent, or I think the really safer route is really just to throw up his 3rd expansion.
Yeah, after he saw that that expansion was making, he made about 8 drones at once, I believe. So just transferring those over now, going to have a very strong economy.
Always the right move. When you see there's no aggression coming as a Zerg player, you just drone.
Yeah, infestation pit going down again, so I think we're going to see a very quick hive. He has yet to actually make infestors tonight, but instead just getting those quick ultras. Uh-oh.
Lag from Chompy.
Looks like it's all sorted out, okay.
That Chompy skips the infestors. I mean, as a Terran player, I know infestors to me are the most terrifying unit that a Zerg player can bust out on the field. They're just so good against everything the Terran player can use, especially now with the patch that if the fungal growth stops siege tanks from changing form, makes infestors quite a bit more versatile.
Yeah, we see a spire going up now, and yes, we do see the hive being researched along with a 3rd base. Terran making an armory, so we might be seeing Thors.
And it's just a game finally getting siege tech. That's going to take a minute to finish. And he is setting up a defensive spot right outside the destructible rocks on the way to his base.
Chompy, not quite sacrificing an Overlord, but just sending it in there to do some very good scouting. Gonna see everything his opponent's up to.
Interestingly enough, Chompy actually has one lone Zergling hidden here in the gas, right behind ItsJustAGame's barricade, which I think is pretty funny. I mean, if this Zergling knew just how close he was to the enemy forces, he would not be a happy little Zergling.
Yeah.
He's sitting there right now, he's like playing chess, like, what's up guys? Oh, and there it goes.
Oh,
Zergling evaporating.
A tiny bit of lag issue there, but I don't think it's anything permanent.
Chompy's 3rd expo now up, transferring drones over. And wisely, he's taking out the destructible debris by his natural expansion. It's always a good call, because if you have a bunch of units out here, and then some Banshees or some drop comes in over here, it's just too hard to go all the way around. So it's a good safe move to take out those rocks.
He's getting a Corruptor and a Greater Spire. We will see Broodlords.
Alright, I love seeing that. Chompy, with that Zergling that suicided itself, he saw what the Terran player was going for, he saw that there was mech bio play, and he said, alright, no Vikings, and I will be making Broodlords. It's a great move, it can do a lot of damage, but the main problem with Broodlords is that there's a short window after you have them where you can do damage, because once the Terran player knows about them, they can start pumping out Vikings, and Vikings just take down the Broodlords so quickly.
Yeah. We have 2 Thors coming out. Thors not great against Broodlords. They do not do that great damage to armored flying units, but with the Marines he might be able to hold it off. We have +1 infantry weapons and combat shields on the way. A few more Corruptors coming out for Chompy. Gonna be morphing those in as soon as the Greater Spire finishes.
I'm really happy we're seeing him going into the later stages. We haven't seen too many late game plays from Chompy just yet. This is a pretty evenly matched game so far, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what kind of damage you can do with those Broodlords. It's such a terrifying unit, really, for a Terran player to see.
And Chompy is missing roaches here at the Zelnaga Watchtower. Looks like he might be moving out soon. But it's just a game has a solid defensive force in place, so I think he may just be running up against a wall.
3rd base going down for our Terran player now. Keeping it in a safe spot, but he can float that over immediately once it's finished.
Chompy is ahead of the income count. Actually, 2 since most of the differential is harvesters.
It's just
a game
salvaging his
actually
bunkers.
slipping up a little bit. He's accumulating quite a bit of minerals and gas. There you go. He realizes what he was doing and drops it down.
Yep.
2 more
4 Broodlords. 4 Broodlords being morphed in at the Zelnaga Watchtower. Our Terran player is moving out, taking out those destructible rocks, but the Broodlords have finished.
This is a sizable force from the Terran player. Really, it's going to be up to ItsJustAGame's micro to use those moves and take them forward for the terrible, terrible damage. Here we go.
Broodlords just have so much range. They can.
ItsJustAGame, he knows that he's got to do damage. He's got to do something with these Broodlords. Unfortunately, the Broodlords are positioned just off the cliff. The Marines can't quite hit them. So much damage. Chompy
Yeah.
back to great micro there. It's just
And the
says, "Oh crap!" He knows the
yeah.
there, and he has nothing to fight them off with.
The siege tanks were in siege mode, and that was doing a ton of damage to his own units, killing those broodlings. And wow, that was just perfect positioning from those broodlords.
Great.
It's
play
just
by
a game
Chompy.
really needing to bring in Vikings, because these Thors may have range, but they just aren't going to do enough damage to these broodlords. And those
Oh,
just-
and it's just a game.